Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Samantha Perry. Brian out fishing with his pup. He'll be back with us next week. And beautiful day here in South Florida. But that's not saying it was a beautiful night because we're starting the day with a good main track and we're off the turf this afternoon. I don't know about you where you live, east, out west. It rained like I never saw it before.
Yeah, it's just been time after time lately.
Yeah, some kind of thing out there, storm.
Tropical disturbance.
Tropical,
yeah.
It's Florida.
Yeah.
But as I said, we're starting a good main track, and we're off the turf this afternoon, but we still have the all-weather Tapeta, and what's going on in the Rainbow Six? I think it's 125, if I'm guessing correct.
So.
Yeah, 125. They had 64,000. That'll kick off in race number 5. Hey, we got a 10-race card this afternoon. That's something different.
Yeah, it is. A couple of races brought back from a reschedule the last time it rained. So.
Yeah, that was really rain. I don't think it's beautiful right now. Is all I can tell you. The temperatures dropped like 3 degrees in Florida.
It makes such a difference.
Yeah, and we're waiting for that end of October, and then we got to hit people with a board to keep them out of Florida. It gets so nice. But today we're dealing with what we're dealing with, and we'll start. As I mentioned, Brian's out on vacation, so I took over his early pick 5, and I'll show you my ticket right now. And it's $36, and we'll talk about the first race in a moment. Second race off the turf. I still like the number 5 horse in here, Hot Cocoa, in race number 3. Just the 2 horses. My topic is migratory. We're going to show you a video of that horse. Race number 4, just too deep for me with the 1 and 4. Late scratch in the number 3, Welcome to America, who I was going to use. And in race number 5, 3 deep for me, 5, 7, and 8. I'm trying to beat the 4 horse in the Carollo. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I get a little bit of a price here. Getting back to race number 1, Samantha, interested to see how you went.
I've got my long shot here. Which it's very early in the betting at 5-2, but 10-1 on the line. We'll see. This Son of Accelerate has never been on the main track. Accelerate's like 17%. I have it on my long shot notes. How good that Accelerate is with dirt routes, and we'll get that here today. Obviously, the Tapeta and the turf has not been working for this guy, and he has figures that fit here, at least if he can translate to the main track. Yeah,
limited sampling first at the claim by Ronnie Coy, pretty good, 20%, and blinkers off this afternoon.
That.
I know you love the blinkers off this afternoon. I went with the number 5 in here, Milazzo, and I just thought, well, let's show the video of Milazzo and Air Force Royalty.
Yeah, they both finished second and third. Milazzo finishing second. We'll get a good main track, not a muddy one like this, but they both, I thought, ran really huge. And Milazzo just a little bit better. I would agree with you there. At this point, you kind of feel like Air Force Royalty was supposed to just go by. And Theo's Thunder came and swooped them all, who looked like he was going to be a professional maiden, and he finally got the win. But Milazzo, I don't think Milazzo thought he lost that race.
Yeah, another horse that's a little interesting to me is similar to your situation. That's the 2, and you have on your ticket too, and what it is going to try the main track for the first time. First off, the claim by Amador Sanchez.
Yeah, and we'll try this one-turn mile distance, which should be interesting. He's sprinted, he's got some tactical speed, and I think he'll be in the mix.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon, originally scheduled for 1 mile on the turf, now to be run at 1 mile and 70 yards on the all-weather Tapeta. There's a mile and 70, as I mentioned. They are maiden claimers, and they are fillies 2-year-olds, and we're going to scratch the 4 Estrella, jockey change on the number 7 Reina del Viento, make the runner Rajiv Maraj, and this kicks off the pick 4. My pick 4 very similar to my, I'll tweet it out, but we could show it if you want right now. It doesn't really matter, but we'll pop it up real quick. I think it's only $12. Single in the big difference is the reason I want to mention race number 3. I'm going to single migratory there, make it a little cheaper for $12. Getting back to the second race, how did you see with the move to the Tapeta today?
Yeah, so it just seems like now every time we do picks, I kind of just have it in the back of my mind, what if? And this horse here, regardless of the 2 horse, regardless of the surface, I thought was going to be interesting, especially on the stretch out here, because this gal, she looked like all along she was going to like a little bit more ground, and she has tried this mile and 70 distance, but it was in a maiden special weight with previous connections, and you found a stat on the herd tax as well. That's a good one to show.
Yeah, and it's just over the the past year with claims, 26% 244 is a return of investment. And the reason I made it this past year, because this year is what they've been doing. They've just been claiming, and their horses have been running well, no matter what the surface, whether it was turf or dirt. That's why we could show you that stat. It's just all encompassing.
Right.
So that is the number 2 horse in here. And, I went with Hot Cocoa, and Hot Cocoa, you could make a case off the performance 2 starts back, on the dirt at Colonial. Maybe this first time on the Tapeta here, this horse will run well for Mary Lightner. With Mary Lightner, all her horses come here and run well.
They are. And I feel like this Colonial form holds up, especially on the grass if they're moving to the Tapeta and vice versa. It holds up. It's a tough, competitive grass fields there at Colonial.
Looks like the speed to me. Now, I don't know about, more about the Tapeta, how it changes here so much when it rains like the night before. So this horse is going to be the speed in my estimation. So I like the fact that this horse has the get up and go to maybe steal race number 2. And then the 3 horse in here, Divine Blue from Antonio Sano, didn't really show much in its debut, dropping down today.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a little bit more. You have Edgar Zayas here, so I think that's a good sign, but will it be enough? I don't know.
Going to race number 3 this afternoon. This one's 6 furlongs. As we mentioned at the top, it's a good main track. These are claimants, the 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races in life. And as you saw in my ticket there, that I'm singing Migratory in one of them. Let's show that video first, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it, because this was a huge victory for Migratory.
Yeah, it just draws up and wins it by 9 lengths or something like that?
Yeah, it was so impressive, and I love the fact that they kept this horse back on the dirt here again today, and they're not getting greedy or overzealous. They're just going to put this horse right in for the 12-5 level. This was a big victory here. If you're winning by 9, I think that you've got to take note of a horse like this, especially taking on winners for the first time. You have that huge confidence going in.
Yeah, and I like what you said there, that they didn't get greedy and they put it in for 12-5. If they stepped this horse up to 25, whatever, I would maybe not had it on top of my ticket. But you could see the reasoning there. But you decided to go with the number 5, Cinco Harley, and this one from David Fawkes. By the way, David Fawkes' birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, David
Happy
Fawkes.
birthday, David Fawkes.
He's doing great right now, everywhere, from coast to coast, quite literally, right? Yeah. Cinco Harley will get back to the dirt, which is where he started out his career, where he has his lone victory. This is actually my best bet today. So I like those dirt races. I get it. They were in 2023. He's had some spacey kind of layoff lines, but he got that Tapeta race under his belt last time out. We know that he likes this local main track, so maybe we'll just have to see today. Actually, what makes it even more appealing is on debut, he tried a sloppy track. So regardless of if there's moisture on the track, I think he'll handle it fine. Yeah,
Cinco Harley, I think with the surface the way it is early on, good. Moves up a little bit. And then you got the number 7, Sunday Song. Going to break for the outside for Gary Jackson. Hasn't been seen since July.
Nope, he hasn't. But it was just kind of like Migratory was a very big victory. But unlike Migratory, was in for the 12-5.
Going to race number 4 this afternoon. This one originally scheduled for the turf to be run at 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are maiden fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. We're going to scratch the 3, Welcome to America, and also scratch the 6, City Minute, which was my top pick in here, and my second pick was the 3. So I had to do some work in here.
Wow.
So so you started with what? Did you go with Bottomless Mimosa on top?
I did, yeah. And this does start a Tropical Tapeta pick 3. Yeah. So this is real guesswork here. I was kind of forced to single the 9 in this spot, Ron, because races 7 and 9, they're really tough.
Right, yeah.
And in my late pick 5, I have a couple singles. So for the purpose of this, I am singling Bottomless Mimosa. I wish this was on the grass, but this was always my top pick. She's gotten some interesting rides in the past, and the last time out she ran really, really strong, which I like a lot. Now Joe Bravo gets aboard from this outside post position. The 5 furlongs is a little bit sharp for the 9 Bottomless Mimosa, Ron, but we'll try it again. At least we know that she's got some get on the Tapeta.
Yeah, let's show that video.
Yes, actually, we can. The video, I believe, is on the Tapeta. Yes, it was. So this is the most recent effort, a little more than a month ago, but I thought it was a big effort here. Breezy Z just ran off that day and set some big fractions doing so, but Bottomless Mimosa dug in. And I like to see this. She had a lot of gameness to her, Ron.
Yeah, she just ended up getting beat right at the wire there. So certainly a horse that you have to look at. As I mentioned, I scratched into the number 4 horse in here once upon a time. It's the first time started from Safi Joseph Jr. with Edgar Zayas in the saddle getting Lasix. Did I have this horse on top? No. But I scratched into it, and I don't mind scratching into connections like Safi Joseph Jr. and Edgar Zayas. And this one, a daughter of McLean's Music.
Yep, and you don't want to play musical jockeys too much, but Edgar was on Bottomless Mimosa and now is on this guy.
Yeah, and what about the number 1 horse? I wanted to ask you about Tree Seas Kai. This one, Andrea Puckett, and Andrea Puckett hasn't started many horses, but she's got a win. The problem here on the turf was 0 for 10, but on the Tapeta, this horse 0 for 2, but I just thought maybe, this one could grab a share somewhere.
I would hope so. That's the thing. We don't really know. Now you see her last Tapeta race was back in January, and it was going 2 turns. The Offspring and Bouchero, they're a little distance limited. I feel like this 5 furlongs, 5.5 is a much better sweet spot for them, and now we'll get it today, but she's 0 for 16. 8 underneath finishes. She's a bit camera shy.
Yeah, you could see our selections up there, how wide open this race is. We have everybody in the race, but in different orders.
I
so
know.
we got it completely covered in there.
We do. You're right.
So we'll see how that works out. We're going to take a short break. We'll scratch our heads with that one and come back for my Rainbow Six.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Samantha, and we are going to go do the last 5 races on the card, and of course the Rainbow Six will be kicking off. It's a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. These are claimers for 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 in life. No scratches in here. Just check out my Rainbow Six ticket, and you will see, as Samantha, it is tough, these races. Early on. So I got the reverse pyramid here. We'll talk about the 5th, 6th race. I got the 4 on top, Curly Sue. Show you a stat on that horse. Race number 7. That one was off the turf. So my long shot of the day was Sue Dream. That was the one I had last time at 20. That horse always was going to win that race. So I'm going back. I know it's changed surfaces. I'm still going back with that horse. Race number 8, I got the 5 horse on here, Patrick Biancone on top. He's been sowing, Lagina, he's been sowing good. You got to use him somewhere. Race number 9, just 2 for me, my top pick. That one also off the turf. I'm going with Aturian. Thinks good. And why? Why am I using Y in the last race? Because that's the name, number 1, and absolutely the horse to beat today. So
absolutely.
I had fun with that.
That was good. I like that. My creativity on the typing this week, I couldn't come up with anything on that one.
I looked at your analysis for today. You really did some talking or typing, whatever. It was big,
I just get so excited.
I know. She does a good job. She tosses me out of the office while she works because I never, as you might
never
think.
Shuts up.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I do never shut up. So, race number 5. You went with the number 4. This the horse I'm trying to beat. I knew you would have it on top.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this horse here, look, there's a lot of guests with this horse because all of the races, the bulk of his great work was done against just restricted 3-year-olds. And last time out, he tried older, but that was at Saratoga. So do you give him a little bit of a pass there? Now we're back into $8,000 claiming level. Look, at the end of the day, this horse did break his maiden for $16,000. Everything else I feel like was icing on the cake.
Yeah, it looks like they said, hey, we're putting it in the spot that we got to win today. Because you look through their Mom's Martini, Iron Hand.
Yeah.
This horse is facing some good horses. You run next to Mom's Martini back before you went on the bench, you're doing okay. So what do? Try and beat it with the number 8 horse in here, and that's looking for Roses. And I just thought this one for Safi Joseph Jr., what I like, third start off the bench. Micah Husband's going to be in the saddle today, and I just think this horse at 1 mile and a 16th runs really well. Maybe does the old bounceroo and it comes back and runs better. So I'm going to put the end. I mean, you got the end of the ticket. It's not that I found anything secret, but that was my thought process.
I agree, because that last race was kind of an anomaly. It seemed like it just was. It was very uncharacteristic for this guy here, and now now third start off the claim for Safi Joseph, and it's now had 2 races put together in a row. I think we'll see a better effort.
Number 7, Triumph Road, the trainer, Jose Castro, is now winning at a 55% clip.
Yeah.
So this horse has not been seen since winning 8,002 lifetime claimer back in August. This guy is hard to leave off the ticket the way this barn has been going.
I could not agree more. Everything you said, I completely endorse.
Yeah, so you got if you're putting your tickets together, even though the 4 looks like the one to beat, probably is the one to beat, you got to put the 7 somewhere on your A ticket or B ticket. That is race number 5. Going to race number 6, 7 furlongs on the Good Main track. This one's a maidens, and they are fillies. 2-year-olds. We're going to scratch the inside horse in here, named after Samantha Zaney, has been declared out of race. I beat you to it.
There you go, yeah.
Samantha has the duties of the late pick 5 with Brian on vacation. So let's check it out.
Yep, let's. I've got a $48 play, and Ron, I agree with you. Y is the horse to beat in the last race.
Right.
So you could play another ticket just singling Y in the last. Race 8, I am singling my Miss Mo. We've got a breeze of her. This is a nice filly.
Yeah.
I think we'll see something good from her today. Race number 9, that was the off the grass event. Oh, this is a tough race. If you could throw the all ball at it, I don't know how it's gonna set up. I have Sophia, the 7 on top, and as I said, I agree with Ron. Oof, that's a scary statement that the 5Y is clearly the one to beat. I put in both of the Antonio Sano horses just for the heck of it. Sometimes Sano wins these weird last races of the day.
We say it's a Sano race.
It is. Yeah.
And, race number 9, you either have to use 2 horses like I did or use a bunch of horses.
Yeah.
Take a stand. And thus, maybe you single a couple of times and, maybe a horse in here. I wanted to ask you about the number 4 horse in here, Curly Sue. And, I see Curlin, $350,000. I jumped in and bought this horse, More Play, who has 2 horses in this race. I put this one on top.
I like this horse here, Ron, better than the other Jose D'Angelo trainee. There's nothing to see on this horse from the morning activity, at least for this gal, but I did see her as a yearling. She has a very light hip. You get that war front kind of grassy look to him sometimes, and the dam won 3 long on the grass too. So this is a good starting place, but the Jose D'Angelo barn has done pretty good with these types of runners lately, and you found a stat too.
Yeah, I got a stat that really goes for Curly Sue and Sovereign Gold, but I like Curly Sue because of the breeding so a little bit more. We'll show you the stat here, and I just think it figures here. 2-year-old first time starters on the dirt. He's only 10%. $1.10 is the return investment. So, you got to take this with a grain of salt. Maybe you go with a horse like you did that ran, and that's Miss T. Bobo.
Well, she's drawn well in this spot here. She finished 3rd in the mud last time out, so regardless of what the weather is like at 3:30 in the afternoon Eastern time here, I think that she'll still be able to handle it. She got the race under her belt. She didn't break very sharp, and she just ran a bit even. So the 7 furlongs seems like a logical stretch out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the horse to beat. Yeah. The 4 Curly Sue, once I see Curl, and I sort of enamored with that, so I'm going to give it a shot, even though the stat what made us point a little differently. What about the 2 Trill. And this one from Heather Smullen, talking about a barn that's been going very good. She's winning at over 40%.
Yeah, she is, and it's great to see. Unfortunately for her now, we draw the rail. That's not ideal. I do like horses coming from the OBS sales. I feel like they have a little bit more of a bottom in them, and this gal is no different. And to talk about another connection, Jonathan Ocasio, he's done great work.
Oh, he's been doing fantastic. I think we're going to talk to him this week for our podcast next week. So the other thing is that this starts the late pick 5, and you have a chance to watch the board.
Exactly. And
so that's the most important thing. You get to watch the board in race number 6 because you got a couple of really nice bred first-time starters in there that you might want to look at.
Yeah.
Going to race number 7 this afternoon. This one originally scheduled for 1 mile on the turf to be run at 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. Its claimers 3-year-olds and upward, no scratches and jockey changes, and that's the beauty of Tapeta. Comes off the grass, not a scratch to be seen.
Yeah, we like it.
Started off with the number 6, Eton.
Eton has been away for some time. Has never been on the Tapeta in the past. These connections here, only 2 wins just on the year, but he comes back as a gelding. I like the fact that this horse comes off a win, even though it has been, 10 months now?
10
wow.
months. Wow. 10
I can't believe it's
months,
October. I still can't get over that. But this horse I really liked with the Brian Lynch barn. Just has a nice, big, long stride, and I think he should like the Tapeta okay today.
Yeah, I'm looking at the works. He was here, then he went to the farm,
Yep.
came back. I don't know if that's the final work. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see, with the thing. Now, I'm going to tell you about my long shot in here, the one Sioux Dream. I'm glad you used this on your ticket.
Yeah.
I said, here's why. You look at this horse's race, 11-1, almost 12-1 that day. But we watched this race because earlier in the day, the trainer, Juan Rizzo, had won a race. So we watched this race, and this horse never looked like he was going to lose.
No.
This horse was incredible. He was right there, and we kept saying all through the race, if he gets through, he wins, you know. So I'm going to go back with him. I was interested to see him on the grass, but I'm going to go back. It's a 5-year-old gelded son of Jess's Dreams, comes off a 46-year layoff and was able to do it. Seemed like that. It was 2 years or something like that.
I know, it was. It was a long time, and this horse was awesome and was extremely fit for debut, too. So it was great work by the Rizzo barn here. Why not come? I think it's actually even better that we're off the turf.
Yeah, you might be right about that. But see what we get a price. What about the 7, the Great Oscar?
This horse here, I feel like might be a little bit better on the dirt sprinting, but has only been on the Tapeta in 1 start. It was a 6th place finish. It wasn't that great at all, but he's got a win since then, and this is not a crazy spot for this horse, and I'm just going to take a little bit of a shot.
I know you took Ronnie Coy a little earlier, and his Dime Pappy, and this one is dropping down this afternoon, was third against 25 starter optional claimers last time out, and this is 2 lifetime. This horse might be the one to beat here.
Yeah, that's so fair here. The Ronald Coy barn is starting to pick up some steam again, which is good to see as well. And you just look at that last Tapeta race. I like this horse a lot today. I think the last race, it was just a little too tough for him.
Now, race number 8 got a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's 6 furlongs. Right now, it's a good track. If it doesn't rain, it'll be fast by race 3. Never mind race number 8. But it's beautiful out right now. And these are state-bred filly 2-year-old scratch the 2 Queen Kiwana. And here's the reasoning. I mentioned that. Kicks off the coast-to-coast pick 5, and it also kicks off the Sunset pick 6 in race number 8 this afternoon. We'll tell you about that during the lightning round, but 2 interesting. Well, one's an older, but we've had, but I played the Sunset 6 all weekend. Didn't do too well, but I'm coming back fighting once again.
You got to, yeah, exactly. You absolutely have to.
And you went with the one day. This is your single, I believe, right?
Yep, this is. So we'll look at a breeze from her. So. This is a nice filly, Ron. This really is. So we'll watch this breeze. She is a rocket ship here. This was on September 14th. This was a canceled race from the rain, and we brought it back. We had canceled the rest of the card the day she was entered here. I'm not saying willy-nilly on the inside is not that great of a horse as an unraced horse, but this gal here, she just does this easy. I mean, this is 46-4, Ron.
Yeah.
And she does it easy. It's a pretty chewed up track here. She keeps going in her breeze. I'm not enamored with this rail draw at all. And whenever she was in a couple weeks ago, I thought that maybe the faster and tighter the track, the better for her. But she's not very big either. So even, regardless of what the surface is, one, she's fit. Two, I think this is going to be a pretty nice filly. And she's a Florida bred.
The number 5, La Gina, who you have in second, and I have on top, it's Patrick being Cone. And just that's the reasoning right there. His 2-year-olds have just been going great guns. And this one, Leinster, the sire's been doing okay, too.
Yeah, really good. And whenever we did this race, I think Leinster was only like 2 for something first time out, and it was just the 2 Patrick B and Cone runners. Of course, Lenny Lou we saw here. So at least we know that Patrick B and Cone can get these Leinsters geared up and ready to roll first time.
Yeah, so we'll see how that horse runs. And, of course, I think Jonathan Ocasio is definitely becoming his go-to rider.
Yes.
You do good with this. What about the number 8, and that's La Rodada?
Yeah, this horse here, changed barns, but is going to cut back to this 6 furlong distance. At least we know that she's got fitness with the races under her belt. She hasn't run bad in all 3 of her starts. Even on debut in the slop, that's tough to do. That was against State Breds. We'll get State Breds again here today. This is a good post.
I jumped the gun. I want to show you a stat with Patrick being Cone, number 5, Lagina.
Yeah.
I forgot about the stat, which is 2-year-olds on the dirt over the past 2 years, 4 for 10, 40%. You've seen them all here, and they've all run well.
Yeah.
70% in the money. If he doesn't win, he's right there at the wire. Everyone has run exceptionally well. So I wanted to point that out. Of course, that is with the number 5 horse. The other horse I want to ask you about, Samantha, which I don't think we both had picked, but Duchess Eleanor, this one, I love Cantheros. You actually have it third in your thing. And this one is a full to Wildwood Beauties, who was, I think, a 10-time stakes place horse or something like that.
Yeah, very nice breeding, which, and the sales price, I thought maybe they kind of got a little bit of a steal here, considering the breeding. They only paid $55,000 for. But at that OBS April sale, there wasn't the stock I was a bit disappointed in this year there, but I will say that she breezed really nicely at that sale, 10-2. I like the fact that we'll get Gerald Bennett sending this gal out, because I feel like he is very good with first-time starters. It might not reflect it as much on the statistics, but he can get some ready.
Well, look at the work. Fast track, best of 34, breezing from the girth. 35-1. That is motoring. So we'll see what we get with the 4 Duchess Eleanor, race number 8. And as we mentioned, kicks off the coast to coast, the Sunset 6. Lots going on in race number 8. Race number 9 was a really nice race. It stayed together, but it's off the turf to be run on the Tapeta. These are allowance optional claimers, and they are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. No scratches in here once again. That's 2 or 3 races that were taken off the turf, and there was a scratch or maybe one scratch in them. You did. I know you like Sophia on top.
Well, this horse, she has some speed. She will come here for the Jorge Delgado barn. We switched to Jose Morelos, which is a very just strong rider. She barely got beat last time out. I get it was on the grass. We'll try the Tapeta for the first time here today, but I don't think that's a bad thing, honestly.
I went with the 5 Aturi, and of course I like this one better on the grass, but I like the fact that this horse has speed. Then you look at its record on the all-weather surface: 4 starts, 2 wins, a second, and a third. So I'm thinking that this horse could run very well today for Joe Orsino. We had him up in stakes competition up in Monmouth.
Exactly. Joe Orsino has a pretty loaded hand in this race, because both of the 4 and the 5 are really nice horses, and both of them exit stakes competition.
Yeah, and the other horse, we'll show the video of Hot Cargo musical design. Before I wanted to ask you about Choose Joy.
Yeah, we'll show Hot Cargo here. Now, I get it, this is on the grass, but that's okay. We're still going to watch this, because Hot Cargo, I felt, was very good in this race, as was Musical Design. Now, Musical Design was huge odds this day, and ended up finishing 5th. But I wanted to show this, Ron, because these two, one, Musical Design didn't get beat by that much. Hot Cargo weaving through horses trying to get up for the victory, and they all finished relatively in a line, just besides the winner. And when you get a race like that, it's just basically, to me, it just shows spread.
Yeah.
You have horses like that. You got to use them.
You got to use them all in there. Now, the question I wanted to ask you about is a horse you didn't use, and probably might have given a second look on the turf, and that is Choose Joy, which is a really nice horse coming up for a long layoff for Steve Dwoskin. He leaves this horse in. We haven't seen him since July of 2024, where he was third behind a couple of next out. One being Talking Tipsy and Oh Darlin', who's a good horse. So, what do we get today?
Well, this gal back in her day was really, really good. And now we've been off for over a year. She's a big girl. I think she's going to need a race. Steve Dwoskin is, I feel like, pretty patient with getting his back to the races. But she does have a very sharp breezing from the gate, 5 furlongs, at least on paper. And breezing 5 furlongs from the gate, you are really going to be fit.
And that's a class of the field of Freddie.
Oh, my God. Yeah, she is. Like you said, back in her time, she was really good. You found us, did you? Oh, no, you didn't.
No, it was for the turf.
Because it was on the grass.
It was on the grass,
right. Yeah. But, yeah, she'll be interesting to come back. I think we'll find out a lot about her here today, if she's the same.
And you got the number 2 super freaky girl that we both use.
Yeah.
And for me, this horse is, really well on Tapeta. 3 starts, 2 wins, and a third, I believe.
Yeah, she's all racehorse. This gal is. She's 5 for 7 in the money. She's pretty nice.
Let's go to race number 10, and this one is 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Maiden Claimers. Fillies 2-year-old jockey change on the number 7 horse. Make the rider Mika Husbands, and I've been talking about why, and joking around because of the name, but certainly on the drop for Joe Orsino, looks like the one to be.
Yep, she finished second, 2 starts back, going this 5 furlong distance in the past, and we'll get it back here today. Like you said, the drop. It's interesting. A daughter of Tacitus, you would never think would be 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, but this field, it's more so. I think I can speak for you. We don't like anybody else in the field.
That's exactly it. And like you said, maybe you use, like you did, always in play on your tickets because of why doesn't win? You're getting paid.
Well, that's very fair. And why could just simply run off the screen? I was trying to. You look at the race and you wonder who the speed is going to be. Pardon me. But why looks good here.
Yeah. So that is 10 races for us this afternoon. We're not done. We're going to check out the lightning round. And as we do each and every Friday right now, let's check out the standings first. You okay there, Samantha?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
We're all good. So let's check out the standing. I guess we'll see the jocks first. And Edgar Miguel doing very well.
Yeah.
Edgar, out of town, I think this Saturday and last Saturday. So he's doing real well. He's been going up north and doing some good riding. Emma Cial always there. Lionel and Jonathan Acacia, as you mentioned, right there.
Yep. Now we're, about 3 weeks into this?
Yeah.
4 weeks into the meet now. So it's good to see this. It's very competitive here.
Yeah, like that. Miguel's riding very good form.
Yeah.
And then you got the trainers. And let's see what's going on here. Jose Davis, look how close this is,
Wow.
Victor, Jose Castro, we mentioned him. Yeah, limited amount. And look at Heather, top 5.
Yeah, this is awesome. And it's not only, claimers, it's first-time starters, second-time starters. Very cool to see the barn just being so versatile.
We mentioned earlier race number 8. We got the Coast to Coast starting off and exciting bet. I know Samantha does very well. She didn't tell anybody, but she hit it last week one of those days. Gave out the ticket here, and it paid very nicely. It's right. What is it, 2 races here?
Yep, and 3 from Santa Anita. So it's very exciting. About 3-hour window. I had to do some counting there on my fingers. Luckily, nobody else saw that. But this is a fun bet. I would have hit it on Sunday if the only horse I missed was your Nolan Ramsey horse.
Oh,
too.
That's right. Yeah. So we didn't get together, of course.
Yeah.
And this one is the one I played all weekend long. The Sunset 6. I was in there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, banging away.
Yep,
I was trying my best. I thought I found a couple of the beauty of it. I had a lot of fun playing it. Actually.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we knew on Sunday we were so cautious about straight no chaser, and we were right. Our first instinct was right, but it had a double carryover on Sunday, and I think paid $7,000. So it was awesome. It's a fun bet.
And the key here, retail only. That is the key. So that means none of those computer geeks can get in on here.
Exactly.
So it's retail only, which makes it bet, gives you a fair chance. Gives you a puncher's chance, as they say.
There you go. Yeah.
Your best bet today?
It is Cinco Harley for me. Getting back to the
dirt.
Yeah,
that horse looks pretty good. My best bet today is why. I don't know why, but it is why. I'm going to use that all day long. I've already done it too many times.
Yeah.
Long shot for you?
Right in the opener with the Accelerate Me.
Now, mine is the race number 8, I believe it is, right? With the number 1 horse in there, Sue Dream. I'm going to go right back to this horse
I
today.
like it.
And like I said, I was impressed with its performance. So that's it. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello. He'll tell you everything you need to know to have a winning day here at Gulfstream Park. And you're stuck with Samantha and I all day.